A nuclear standoff. Cities in flames. For the first time in modern history, Iran and Israel are trading direct blows, not in shadows, but in open skies. This isn't just a regional clash. It's a fuse that could ignite global war. How did we get here? And how close are we to catastrophe? As June 2025 unfolds, the Middle East stands at a volatile tipping point. A cascade of unprecedented direct strikes between Israel and Iran have shattered decades of uneasy deterrence. Nuclear sites, military targets, even civilian infrastructure have become theaters of direct conflict. This is a confrontation that could redraw the geopolitical order and shake the foundations of global stability. Segment 1. Flashback and historical context. To understand today's upheaval, we must go back to the post-2023 Gaza war era, when shadow warfare between Iran and Israel shifted into open hostility. Proxy battles intensified. From drone and missile salvos in April and October 2024, called Operation True Promise Iron 2, to covert strikes on Iranian consulates in Syria, the tit-for-tat escalated steadily. Technological and tactical evolution. Iran unveiled its Qasem-Basir medium-range ballistic missile, 1,200 km range, in May 2025, signaling advances in precise strike capability. Economic strain and military buildup. Facing sanctions and Mr. Pezeshkian's domestic pressures, Iran's 2025 military budget soared over 200%, largely funding the IRGC and proxy networks. Segment 2. Operation Rising Lion. Opening salvo. On June 13-14, 2025, Israel initiated Operation Rising Lion, a full-scale aerial and intelligence attack targeting over 150 Iranian nuclear and military sites. This marked a departure from covert tactics toward unbridled confrontation. Mossad's covert role. Deep inside Iran, Mossad operatives assembled drone units that disabled missile launchers and air defenses, clearing the path for IAF strikes on SSM facilities across Tehran, Isfahan, Kermanshah, and Tabriz. Outcome? Targeted strikes reportedly killed senior IRGC commander Hossein Salami, and several nuclear scientists, damaged nuclear enrichment infrastructure at Natanz and Isfahan, oil facilities, and missile depots. Netanyahu's justification declared Iran was on the brink of a bomb, claiming Israel had no choice but to act unilaterally to ensure its survival. Segment 3. Iran's response. Operation True Promise 3. What followed was nothing short of war. Iran responded with Operation True Promise 3, launching over 150 ballistic missiles and 100-plus drones, marking the first sustained direct attack on Israeli soil since decades of shadow conflicts. Impact. Israeli air defenses intercepted many incoming missiles, but dozens, some with devastating precision, hit Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and scientific complexes like the Weizmann Institute. Casualties? 14 Israelis killed, 390 injured. Iran claimed over 150 sites damaged. Regional ripple. Yemen's Houthi militias, Iraq, even Jordanian airspace were involved. Some missiles struck drones passing through, while Jordan assisted interceptions. Segment 4. Human and regional cost. The casualties are significant. Nearly 78 dead, 320-plus injured in Iran, 14 dead, 390-plus wounded in Israel. Civilians, scientists, even storage tanks have all become collateral damage. Economic shock. Oil prices skyrocketed on fears of disruption through the Strait of Hormuz. Regional air routes closed. Capital markets shook as investors feared a prolonged war. Diplomacy derailed. Iran-U.S. nuclear talks were suspended. U.S. military assets repositioned defensively. UN, EU, Russia, and Gulf neighbors called for restraint. Segment 5. Voices from the Front. Netanyahu. Iran approaching nuclear weapons is an existential threat. We cannot rely on others if they are not acting decisively. Iranian President Pezeshkian. Israel must face the consequences of attacking our sovereignty. We will respond with full force until you stop. U.S. Gulf allies. U.S. We support Israel's right to self-defense, but urge de-escalation to avoid wider war. Jordan, UAE, Saudi Arabia, advocating restraint. Some Gulf states quietly aiding air defenses while balancing Iranian ties. Segment 6. The Big Picture. This confrontation lays bare several critical dynamics. 1. New warfare paradigm. Covert drone incursions deep inside Iran enabled by Mossad show a shift to hybrid warfare. 2. Breakdown of deterrence. Direct missile exchanges indicate a breakdown in mutual restraint. 3. Proxy entanglement. Yemen, Iraq, possibly Lebanon's Hezbollah, now active participants, raising fear of multi-front war. 4. Global economic stakes. Energy prices, shipping lanes, investor confidence. This conflict threatens global systems. Segment 7. What's next? So where do we go from here? Further military escalation? Netanyahu warns of continued operations till every Ayatollah-associated site is hit. Nuclear brinksmanship. Iran may accelerate uranium enrichment. Iran's stockpile nearing weapons-grade levels. U.S.-Russia dynamics. Russia signals mediating role, but could supply Iran with Su-35 jets, S-400 air defense systems. The U.S. may increase its regional presence. Gulf mediation. Saudi Arabia and UAE likely to seek de-escalation. Normalization with Israel conditional on calm. Segment 8. Conclusion. June 2025 marks a historic shift. Not an outbreak of war, but a collapse of barriers separating proxy tactics and full-spectrum conflict. The risk is no longer of a contained skirmish, but a spiral into something far more destructive. Yet, within this crucible lie pathways to diplomacy, deterrence, and new global coalitions. The question is, will cooler heads chart that course? Or will this spiral become the spark that ignites a wider conflagration? As the dust settles over a region on edge, one thing is clear. This is no longer a war fought in the shadows. It's a global flashpoint with consequences far beyond the Middle East. At Nexplain, we bring you stories that matter, explained with clarity, depth, and urgency. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned, because the next chapter in this conflict may already be unfolding.